Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Garage door's open, so if you hear noises, I apologize. How was your weekend? Mine was great. I got a lot done, but we'll cover that on a different work day, a different weekday, because I went to see Avengers Endgame Friday night, and I want to talk to you about it. And I don't normally do a lot of movie reviews. I don't normally do a lot of stuff like this, simply because I don't normally watch these sorts of things. And in fact, I had tweeted that this movie was the first Marvel movie I had seen. And that's not technically true. I have seen Black Panther. But Black Panther, and it was amazing, doesn't connect to this movie in any meaningful way, other than they show up, right? So there's a cameo, essentially. But other than that, Black Panther was a fantastic film. And I will tell you that Endgame was a fantastic film. Now, I grew up with comic books, so I know who these characters are. I know, their basic storylines and all that sort of stuff. So I didn't need a whole lot of background on any of the main characters. But I knew nothing of the previous movie, other than, I've seen the ending. I saw the memes. I know the gist of what happened. And I think it's a mark of a really amazing film that somebody like me who's not seen any of the other movies can go to this film and really enjoy myself and not feel confused. By the way, I'm going to spoil the hell out of this movie right now. So if you haven't seen it yet, just wait. But there was one confusing moment for me. Was we spent like a good minutes. We spent minutes with Professor Hulk and the Time Lady talking about the Time Stone and why he can't have it, and then he explains to her that Doctor Strange gave it freely to Thanos, and she ends up saying, he's meant to be the best of us, so if he gave it, then he had a reason, and so then she gives it to the Hulk, and we spent a significant amount of screen time on that interaction, and ultimately, if you hadn't seen any of the other movies, none of that made any sense to me as a viewer. And at the same time, if you had seen the previous movie, then you didn't need that scene at all. Like, that scene did nothing for you because you know that Doctor Strange gave this gemstone, gave the Time Stone to Thanos, and that he had a reason, because there's one reality in which they win. And so at the end of this movie, when you get to see Doctor Strange give Tony Stark the number one, like, this is it, this is the reality, you understand, oh, well, he gave him the stone not in some sort of evil way, but because this is the only chance we have. We have to give Thanos the stone. He has to destroy everything, which has to give you the resolve to figure this thing out, to go back, to get the stones, to stop Thanos. That's how we win. And so, having not seen the previous movie, the sequence with Professor Hulk and this Time Lady made no sense to me. And if you had seen it, it was just a superfluous scene. If you knew the previous movie, then this whole sequence would have been like, what? Okay, this is just, I guess, extra screen time with Professor Hulk, which I will tell you was amazing. Like, I would totally go see a Professor Hulk movie. That character was unbelievable. Really, really wonderful character, wonderful CG. It carried the show quite a few times with some really good humor. Wow, just awesome. I had no emotional connection to Tony Stark at all. Like, don't care. Iron Man was never a character that I cared about when I was a kid. My girlfriend cried quite a bit at that. She was really upset with him, with the loss of Tony Stark. But ultimately, it's comic books. I mean, there'll be another Iron Man. Obviously, it's not going to be Robert Downey Jr., which everybody says is like the greatest. He was the perfect match for that, which is cool, because I don't know that he was doing anything at the time that Iron Man happened. So he was kind of, I don't want to say he was out of work. I've heard other people say he was washed up and out of work when he took over Iron Man. I don't think that's true, but he definitely wasn't in the spotlight when he took over Iron Man, and now he's in a huge spotlight, and he had a wonderful death. Like, I thought his sequence, I've always said that if you have an important character, they have to die in an important way, and that was the best possible, ending for him. And the sentiment that his wife gave that say, we're okay now, we're going to be okay. That was the best possible way to end a character like that. Captain Marvel or Captain America going back in time and staying back in time. Okay, like that. Yeah, he loved her like more than anything. So why wouldn't he do that? If you were given the opportunity to go back and start over, why wouldn't you? It was odd to have him like come back to pass the shield on. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. But yeah, passing the shield was great. I would love to see. I'd love to see if they continue on with that storyline, and I hope they do. I hope they don't just reboot it and start over with Winter Soldier or something like that. Because a black Captain America sounds great to me. Like I'd love to see that. And I don't know the guy who plays that character, but he seems like he's got a lot of really positive energy around him. I know that when he got to play whatever I don't even know the comic book character's name that he played. Everybody was really excited about that. So, I'm excited to see that. I loved Thor as the dude. I mean, that was a huge nod to one of my favorite movies ever, The Big Lebowski, and I thought it was perfect. And you could audibly hear women in the audience like, oh, they were upset. I would say, other than the Professor Hulk scene with the Time Lady, the only other scene that I was like, was just like, was the like forced 6 women to go take down Thanos poster movie pose at the end. It was just so, like, I get it. Give the women screen time. That's awesome. Like, show them as these strong, powerful women. That's great. But that was just so forced and awkward that I really, I kind of cringed at it. Like, oh, that's just bad. Just let them be badasses, because they were badasses. Like, all the women were badasses. So yeah, again, having never seen another Marvel movie, I'm interested to go back and watch some of them now. There's not a whole lot of characters in that universe that I care about, like on an emotional level, and I think that's the reason why I could go watch them. I care a lot more about some DC characters, specifically Batman. I've always been attached to kind of the gritty anti-hero. That character is much more believable than the like I'm super and I'm awesome character. So I don't watch DC movies because, well, A, they're really bad, and B, I love those characters too much, and so to really crap on them with bad movies would hurt me. Whereas with Marvel characters, I don't care about them at all. I have no emotional connection to them. I read X-Men and X-Force, Wolverine, that sort of stuff when I was a kid. But I was never really invested in those characters because I don't like the like super campy, happy, I'm awesome superheroes. Those have never been. I'm not a superhero person. I'm more of a hero person. So I think I could go back and enjoy the movies because I have no bias towards them at all. So I might do that. I don't know if I should start with Iron Man. I don't know if I should start with Spider-Man. I don't know if I should start with like some of the minor characters. But I'll probably end up watching them. And yeah, Endgame was amazing. Changed my mind as far as what a good cinematic superhero movie could be. And let's just talk CGI. Like, I'm normally a really heavy critic on CGI because it looks awful. But I would say the vast majority of this movie was CGI, and it was amazing. It looked really good. Especially the Professor Hulk character. That looked completely, 100% believable. Really amazing. So, and to think that they're cracking those movies out like every year. It's sometimes twice a year. Sometimes, I don't know how many movies they've done a year when they've done lots of different characters. But, wow. So that's it. That's my review. Go see it if you haven't seen it. Even if you haven't seen the other movies, go see it. You'll probably have a great time. If your friends invite you and you're like, I haven't seen any of the others, just go. Enjoy it with your friends because I had a blast. And I'm not the kind of person that enjoys those movies. So who knows? Maybe I'm changing for the better. Maybe I'm learning to appreciate stuff like that more. Yeah. So thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from todayifoundout.com. By the way, follow them on YouTube. Amazing channel. Where did the word cookies come from? The word cookie comes from the Dutch koekjes, which came from the Dutch koek, meaning cake. Cookie was introduced to English in the very early 18th century. It is thought this term caught on more in the United States due to the strong Dutch heritage in early America. Sorry for the Dutch people and the way I abused that word.